Okay, good.
Forged in fire, Steel City heart on the line. From the gridiron war to the diamond's grind. Steel and sail, the only truth you'll find. With Trent and David, Steel and sail.
Welcome to the Steel and Sail podcast. That is the new best intro in all of fucking podcasting for the record. DMC3 is unhinged. I love it. What's up? How are you doing?
Doing good. Decided to take it to the next level here. Let's start adding some music creation to my repertoire in being a producer for the multiple podcasts that we do now. So, yeah.
I love it, man.
Tune in tomorrow on YouTube for the Steelers Sanctuary podcast one. That will be also a new intro with new music. So,
This is unreal. I love this. All right, so we're going to start with Steelers stuff tonight. Then we're going to work our way to the Pirates stuff as we saw the wrap up of another game series here. So we're going to dive right into this thing. You got slides already for the wide receiver stuff?
yeah, I do actually. Let me
Let's pull up slide number 1. So we are going to talk about who wins the wide receiver 3 spot. So Jeremy Bernard, obviously the guy we traded up for in the second round. You've got Roman Wilson. He changed his number, so Aaron Rodgers all of a sudden likes him again because he's wearing 14. So which one of these guys ends up being the wide receiver 3? I mean, first of all, are you buying the hype of the Roman Wilson stuff coming out of camp right now?
I am, honestly, I don't know what to think of it because with McCarthy, everybody's crushing it. Like everybody's just crushing it. Everything's just great. Everybody's just doing the best he's ever seen. Right. So I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's like with Howard, he's number 2, he's this, he's that. I don't know if we're trying to build up trade value. I have no idea what the hell they're trying to do. But if he's anything like Tomlin, he may prefer the veteran over the rookie. That's the one thing that I kind of wonder if that would persuade them to go that route. Because, with Bernard, could the NFL the speed of the NFL, could that surprise him a little bit? Because we've heard that sometimes happens with rookies. They're kind of surprised by the speed of the NFL. But my question is that can Roman Wilson learn the playbook?
Another new playbook, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's a new playbook.
He might be a veteran, but he's not exactly a veteran in this offense because we've not seen this offense yet. No one has.
Right. So that's my big hurdle, if you will, for Roman Wilson is hey buddy, you're gonna have trouble, understanding this because that's what hurt you in your first season as a rookie. But Bernard's been the opposite. Bernard has been asking the right questions. He knows the playbook already. You heard, there was another wide receiver I thought talking about it, about how
DK and Pittman now have both talked about him.
Both said that he has done really well, already knows the playbook. Within the first 2 weeks, he was set, good to go. So yeah, I don't know, man. I the whole thing with Kaboli talking about Wilson's taking 200 reps on the jugs machine. He's the last one to leave the field. But one big problem for Roman Wilson. His name is Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, apparently, Wilson made some mistakes with his route running last year, and Rodgers was done with him. Wanted nothing to do with him. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's going to depend on what happens, I think, at training camp, what happens in these preseason games, and probably that'll be the deciding factor, my guess. Because we talked about on the regular podcast, like with Bernard, it's, these rookies that I think that could be impacted in a good or bad way, right? By the Rodgers signing, I think I talked about, was the fact that Bernard's a rookie. If he makes a mistake, Aaron might not forgive him and want him off the field because that's how Aaron is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's my thing. My thing is there's a lot of, I don't want to say obstacles or hurdles for both of them, but it does feel like Bernard's got to earn that trust, and Wilson's got to try to gain it after he lost it.
Yeah.
So I don't, it's tough to say. If I was a betting man, I'm going to go with Bernard.
Yeah, you got a second round pick versus a third round pick. You've got a guy who the veterans already seem to be kind of gravitating towards. And I'm sorry, but every time I hear players talk about a guy versus media talking about a guy, I'm going to stop with the players. And right now, the players are talking about Bernard, not Wilson. The media is kind of pumping up Wilson, but we've seen that before. We've seen, the chiseled god came out of the whole Mark Kabully, reference of him being a chiseled god. But
right,
dude, seriously, he's a third round pick. He had a very specific niche in college, and that hasn't facilitated in the NFL into anything more than just being that same player who, oh, by the way, he's not really learning the playbook. I mean, we talked about this a lot, and I kept watching film. I'm like, he's open. I don't understand why we're not getting the ball. There's got to be something to this. And I think, was it Dave who first pointed this out? Like, he's got to be doing something wrong for Aaron not to throw on the ball.
It was Dave or it was Bob. It was Dave or Bob.
One of you two. Yeah, one of them two kept saying, it might have been Bob. Because we kept saying it. I felt like week in and week out, we're like, oh my God, this dude keeps getting open, and Aaron will not give him the ball. What's going on?
Right.
Well, he's getting open because he's not in the right place. And that's a problem for a veteran quarterback who's been in the league as long as Aaron Rodgers. He wants to know where you're at and what you're doing and where to get you the ball because he has to play with anticipation. The quarterback position is all about anticipation. And so far, it sounds like Jeremy Bernard is doing the right things and he's learning the playbook. If he's got this playbook already figured out by now, he's way ahead of the curve.
Right.
He may be a lot smarter than we all thought, first of all, because if you've got this thing figured out as a rookie at this point already, man, you're way ahead of the curve. Because I guarantee there's veterans on the team right now. They're still learning parts of this playbook. Right. And I get this is like the basic install stuff. It's not the deep dive into the nuances, but I don't remember anybody talking about Roman Wilson this way. It was always about catching up to the moving train and he can't quite get on. And I don't know. Is there a place for Roman Wilson on this team? I would still say possibly yes. It depends on if they go after a veteran.
Let me ask this question. So Bernard was a consensus projected third round pick. We took him in the second earlier. Wilson was a third round pick. So, you don't believe that? You believe he was a second round projection?
I think most outlets had him as a second. I feel like me, you, and Dave all thought he was a third round pick. I think the outlets kind of had him in the second round conversation.
I don't
not quite where we took him, but he was. I think he was in the second round conversation.
Okay,
I'll say that.
Okay, so Wilson was a third round pick. Which of the two do you feel like did have a better college career? Is it even close? That Bernard is Wilson even close to Bernard? No, I didn't think so.
But they came out of two different offenses. That's the hard part to judge. Michigan was a run first offense where they had games where literally JJ didn't throw the entire second half. And I know I pick on them because it's the team up north, but in all reality, they were a very, very different offense. And then you had the Alabama offense from last year, especially where they couldn't run the ball at all. And so they had to pass every chance.
With Alabama, I felt like the whole offense was centered around Bernard.
I agree.
So, I told you guys that kind of told me something there a little bit. But yeah, just looking at that and looking at what he's doing compared to Wilson, his rookie season. Yeah, I think it's going to be Bernard, dude. I think it's.
I do too. And so I think another thing that maybe I'm not giving enough credit for Bernard is Ryan Williams is on the same team that Bernard was, and he was like the guy. Like he was supposed to be. He and Jeremiah Smith, their freshman year, were the two greatest wide receivers as freshmen, and everybody was hyping them up, and they were going to be like the next like top tier players. And then you get into this season, and it wasn't Ryan Williams in a sophomore season. It was Jeremy Bernard for that offense, and that kind of says something for Bernard about like you can take all the top end stuff of did he have the greatest 40? Did he have the best high jump? Did he have the best long jump? Take it all off the table. When it came to actual football, that team went to him, not Ryan Williams, who was the guy who was supposed to be lighting it up. And I think maybe the three of us haven't given him enough credit for that.
No, I mean, I cited it in my notes when we did our wide receiver tiers. So I that's what I noticed. I noticed that, I mean, it was everything from trick plays to run plays to passing plays. He was involved in all of that.
He was.
So I thought that was interesting in a good way that they did that much with him, that they depended on that much on him. Yeah, I just don't see it with Wilson. I think he knows the writing's on the wall. I think he knows, man. And I don't think he's hoping to be like traded or whatever, but I know that he probably wasn't happy that Rodgers came back. I can't think that he was.
I'm sure he wasn't.
I mean, you got to remember, Rodgers was yelling at him at last year's training camp because he wasn't doing things right.
Called him unprofessional.
And then got to the games, and I mean, right off the rip, kids running around routes. Remember, then he had the what didn't he have that? He got in for like one play, and didn't he fumble the ball because he did something stupid?
Yeah, he dove over. Yeah, it was like a third down play where the game was already sealed up, and who was that? Was that the Colts game? He just fucking dove over top of a DB, and the DB got a hat on that ball, and
it was
ended up being a fumble and turnover instead of a punt where we actually were in field position. And that was, I don't know what you're talking about.
He just did a lot of bad things, man. So I think Bernard's gonna end up being the guy, and that's fine with me. A rookie in the slot, that's fine.
Yeah, I think there's a floor with Jeremy Bernard that even Aaron, as a guy who's going to play with a rookie, is comfortable with, especially if Bernard's picking up the playbook and understanding his role and understanding where he's supposed to be and which routes he's supposed to run on every single play. Like, if Aaron knows you're going to do what you're supposed to do, I think he trusts it. I think maybe we blew out the rookie thing out of proportion a little bit more, but
I do.
Every quarterback wants to know that you're going to be in the right spot at the right moment so that he doesn't have to worry about look first, throw second. He has to play with anticipation. Again, I'm going to go back to that every time, especially in the wide receiver thing. Like a quarterback has to play with extreme anticipation in the next level. And this is the NFL where you have to be able to like understand you're reading a defense first and you're throwing with anticipation second. And third is worrying about where your receiver is going to be, because sometimes these guys are throwing the ball before the receivers break open. And if he has to trust that Bernard's going to do the right thing and be where he's supposed to be, I think that's probably where Aaron's looking at this thing, where Wilson, he doesn't have that same trust in him. I mean, do you think Wilson's a legit cut candidate at this point? I know it's kind of getting off topic, but
not cut. I don't think they'll cut him because, I mean, he did show at times that he could get open and he could do some things. I would want him out there over a Skoranek. And, we're yet to see, what Wetjen and Heidenreich can do. Am I missing something? So we got Metcalf, Pittman, then you got Bernard, Wilson, and then you got Skoranek, Wetjen, and Heidenreich. Those are basically on paper your 7 closest wide receivers to this group that they're going to have. Yes. Whether they make Heidenreich a running back or whatever, but those are the 7 in my head that are vying for probably the top 6 positions unless they make Heidenreich a running back. So really, Wilson's in a good spot here where, at least I think he is, to where he has a new beginning with McCarthy. So I don't think they're willing to cut him yet, unless he just does some really stupid things in practice again at camp and in preseason or something like. And they might cut bait or trade to get some, find some team looking to buy low, give us a 6th, 7th round pick for him or something like that. But I don't know. I don't think they'd cut him.
So the argument I've seen so far is that, and maybe me, you, and Dave, all three should get more into this, but I'm just trying to dip our toes into this whole thing. But if they really like Heidenreich as much as they say they do, and KJ impresses enough to make them want to keep he's a third round pick.
Right.
Okay. Whether you like KJ last year or not, he's a 3rd round pick the organization's not going to want to give up on. And so is Roman, right?
Yeah.
But this is where the interesting part of the dynamic comes in, is like, if you keep 6 receivers, you just named possibly 7 guys. But you're not keeping 4 running backs on the roster. You're keeping 3. So do you move Heidenreich into a receiver role? And then do you have to get rid of a receiver? Or do you keep him as a running back? Do you get rid of KJ? Like, I think that might have to be something we dive into at a deeper level on another show.
Yeah.
But, man, I don't think it's out of the question that one of KJ or Roman Wilson could be an odd man out somewhere within this.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the two that should be worried. Now that I think about it, like with Wilson, KJ should be more worried than Wilson, though.
I think so too. I'm with you on
KJ
that.
should be really worried because, I mean, again, he isn't McCarthy's guy, and I just don't know if there's any loyalty there for him to make it after what happened last year. I mean, dude, he got drafted in the 3rd round. They still went and got Dowdle instead of letting him try to be the number 2.
Yeah.
That tells me something. So, and then, like I said, they drafted Heidenreich in the 7th round. I know it's a 7th round pick, but it's McCarthy's guy. Yeah, and McCarthy has even talked about wanting to open up the offense for specifically Heidenreich.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we've talked about how we wonder if he is going to be the poor man's Gainwell for Rodgers, if that's the plan.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, then KJ I think KJ is more of a trade candidate than a cut candidate.
Yeah, I could give you that.
I think when it comes to, I don't know if I want to say 3rd round picks and higher or 4th round picks and higher. We don't look to just cut straight up. Those are something that more or less you try to either trade or keep giving them a shot.
Well, yeah, you want to get your value back,
right?
some way, some form.
So, I just don't see them getting cut. I don't see KJ getting cut. I don't see Wilson getting cut. I would say more or less they get traded. Like I said, buy low kind of thing. Try to get something for them, but I don't know, man. We'll see. What if KJ impresses, like really impresses? There's a rumor he lost weight.
Yep.
And maybe he's worked hard. He's shed some pounds, so he's a little faster. Maybe, I have no idea. But we'll see in preseason. We will see, because I'm gonna tell you now. Last year in preseason, you could really tell that he just wasn't like those other guys. Like
he was very hesitant.
I thought Lou Nichols looked way better than him, and Lou Nichols was nobody. And wasn't there that one game where Trey Sermon looked like he was the better back too?
Yeah. Trey Sermon's had moments in the NFL.
So it's just one of them things. Now, if this camp and this preseason, he looks lightning quick, no hesitation, looks like he actually has that burst. Then yeah, I mean they're it could be the opposite. They could be like, look, why would we keep a 7th round Heidenreich when we got KJ who looks really good? Like he could be definitely a guy if, say, if Dowdle or Warren would get hurt. because running backs get hurt a lot, man.
Sure.
Running backs, it's not, running backs don't make it all 17 games. That is something that don't happen. It just
Yeah.
doesn't. So Warren or Dowdle is going to get hurt in some form or fashion. Warren has already gotten hurt with the knee and everything else. So I also think that maybe that's why they went and got Dowdle, because they're not sure about KJ if he can be a guy. It's going to be an interesting camp. It's going to be an interesting preseason. I'm looking really forward to this, because there are those guys right there specifically, Roman Wilson and Caleb Johnson. Like, those are the guys that, man, it's going to be make or break. And Howard. I'm not to get into quarterbacks, but in Howard.
Oh yeah, there's definitely going to be multiple guys on this team that it's going to be. They're playing for their lives, and right now, it's the two guys we're primarily talking about are definitely going to be on that list, and it's going to be fun, I think, as a fan and as a podcast group to watch this thing play out, because it's going to be really intriguing to see how not only do those guys play, but how does McCarthy evaluate the way these guys play and how they fit into his scheme. But I could say McCarthy has kept a guy like MVS, for example, for a long time. James Jones for a long time, as an example. They were not exceptional receivers who did exceptional things, but they had a very specific thing they did really, really well. And you know what? I think you can make an argument that Roman Wilson as wide receiver 4 could be kind of in that same category. Like, I need you to hit this play downfield and make this catch and just send him. And he doesn't have to play 30 plays a game. You can get him in there for 10 snaps a game and give you that kind of thing. Like, I need you to lead this team in yards per reception at 18 yards per reception. I don't know. It's going to be fun to watch how this thing, because Bernard and Wilson are two totally different receivers, obviously. Like, they do two vastly different things.
Yes.
But it's going to be fun to watch how they go. So we spent a lot of time on that one. So let's get into Pittman and DK Metcalf. We're like, yes, we got on a tangent. Sorry. Between Pittman and DK Metcalf, who do you think?
I think you and I are going to disagree on this.
There's a chance.
I'm pretty sure, because I'm going to go with Metcalf. And here's my reason why. So Metcalf last year dealt with a declining Rodgers. Calvin Austin III was his opposite wide receiver. Skoranek, Scotty Miller, Roman Wilson. I mean, that's a rough group. They forbid to throw to Muth. So, like, he literally was it. And then there were times where they used him as a decoy instead of making him the featured guy. And he still put up more yards than Pittman did. But one less touchdown was 6. So, in comparison, Pittman had Pierce, Downs, Warren. Oh, and by the way, it had Jonathan Taylor out of the backfield. So I just feel like, and Pittman had not as many yards. He had like 700 something yards, but 7 touchdowns. So, like, in my opinion, because now we've given Metcalf a legit number 2 and possibly a number 3 with Bernard, I feel like he's going to have the bigger season. He's going to, I think he hits 1,000 yards again. I think he has more than 6 touchdowns. I'm going to be safe and put him at probably 8, maybe more. But I think Pittman will do better than last year too. I think Pittman will be better than 700. I think he'll have about 850 to 900. And I think he'll have around his same number of touchdowns, around 7 as well. I think they're both going to do it because of each other. I just think that Metcalf is going to be even better now that he has so much more help. But that's just how I feel about it. What about you?
So I think there's 2 different ways to look at this thing, and I will say this: I've been a huge fan of the fact that we traded for Michael Pittman. I think that it's a great compliment to DK Metcalf, and anybody who saw Alec Pierce get the bag this year. There's a lot of you who probably do not realize that he got the bag because Michael Pittman helped him get the bag. And that sounds crazy, but Michael Pittman does so much of the dirty work from the wide receiver position that allows somebody like Alec Pierce to get open on the back end. And what
Yeah.
we saw all last season, exactly what you just said, is DK Metcalf was double teamed every freaking play. And he was never going to get the one-on-ones. And you can't trust a guy to work underneath of him to get open. And that's the problem is we try to use DK Metcalf not only in what he does well, but we try to force him out of what he does well to try to just force feed him the ball because we had nobody else. Well, I'm sorry, but Michael Pittman is a damn good receiver, and he's vastly being underplayed in Pittsburgh, in my opinion. This dude had 111 targets last year. The problem is he didn't have the most spectacular season ever. It's because he didn't even average 10 yards a reception. It was 9.8 yards a reception, where DK Metcalf averaged 14.4, but the catch percentage for Michael Pittman was 72.1. Okay, that's consistency. Yep. That's a guy who understands how to work underneath. That's a guy who you want to have working out of either the slot or the Z. You can move him around. You can pair he and DK Metcalf in a twins look on the same side of the field and make a defense try to figure out who the fuck the primary target is. Because Michael Pittman's been a number one in that Indy offense for a long time, right? Yep. So he's not just a guy being thrown out there to be a second wide receiver in the offense. He has been a number one. He's been a guy who's been relied upon by a quarterback, which if, Aaron's back, again, he's going to love a guy he can rely upon. He has a second legitimate player now that he can throw to. And the more that you can get Michael Pittman involved in an offense, the more it opens up the things that DK Metcalf really does well. Same with Alec Pierce. You get Michael Pittman to occupy some of the shit underneath where you draw the linebackers over to him in zone coverages. You bring up the safeties to try to get him to stop getting these first down conversions because he is a third down conversion fucking monster. And then that's where DK hits the over-the-top shit, right? We want him to be the deep threat. We want him to use his speed, his size, his athleticism. And I think that if you look at this in the terms of a sheer what is the impact, I think there's a chance you could argue Michael Pittman could have a better season as far as impact, but DK Metcalf's probably going to have the better statistical season. So I think statistically I'm on the Metcalf train, but I think an overall impact, especially comparing last year to this year, I think Michael Pittman has a better season.
I mean, you could be right. I just I don't know. I don't want to say you could flip a coin, but basically you're about there. I'm about there with it. You could almost just flip a coin. It'll be interesting. You're right. Pittman's extremely important, but I think that next level is Bernard. If he is somewhat productive,
that's where it gets intriguing.
Yep. And then if they get Muth more involved down the seam, boy, if we start passing down the middle too, Trent, fuck. We can.
Well, McCarthy's not going to be afraid to throw to the middle of the field. This is not Mike Tomlin anymore. He's going to let the entire offense open up. That's going to be the big question mark about what could this offense be is Mike McCarthy runs the West Coast offense. You're going to see some more crossing patterns than what we've seen in the past. You're going to see the tight ends occupy the seam routes, which is what fucking Pat Freiermuth does extremely well. Like, I want to see Pittman working underneath. I want to see Freiermuth hitting the seam routes. I want Metcalf down the sideline on the outside. I want Bernard working in crossing patterns with Pittman and things like that. Like, man, the mesh routes and shit, like, dude, this is what the West Coast offense opens up. And I'm excited for that part of it, honestly, because we've been so frustrated as a fan base for such a long time that I'm just like dying to see it in effect. And I hope that's the way it plays out.
All right, let me load up the other slide for the next subject. Boop.
Weak links, offense and defensive weak links. So I just did a whole shitload of talking. Do you want to go first on this one?
Yeah. You got a lot of hot air tonight. But so for me, I went with the weak link. I think on the offense is the offensive line. And the reason why is literally everyone not named Zach Frazier moved to another position. So I'm kind of worried about that. Not as much with Foatanu and with McCormick, but man, I'm Atcher and Dunker, like rookies, and you're just like, yeah, you're gonna learn multiple positions, and it's like, holy shit, bro. Like with rookies, I don't feel good about that. I'd rather just focus on a position, make that your night and day thing that you're thinking about, and that way for the season, that's what you're locked into. At least that maybe I'm just too old school. I don't know, but that's how I feel about that. Cook's playing right tackle. Has he ever played right tackle before? Spencer Anderson's playing right guard. All these guys played left last year. So like, and here's the thing. An O-line, when you start switching up stuff or they're newer or don't, haven't played together, it takes them a little while to gel.
Sure.
So reason why I feel they're the weak link is, are they going to get Aaron Rodgers killed before they gel to be good enough? That's what I'm worried about. So that's why I decided to make them my weak link, because of the fact it's going to take them a little while to gel, and I'm really hoping let's hope we don't get Rodgers killed in the process. That's why I'm going to pick them as the weak link on offense. On defense, look, I went with the off-ball linebackers, and I made sure I said off-ball linebackers so people understand. I'm not talking about the edge rushers. I am only talking about the off-ball linebackers. Did Patrick Queen, correct me if I'm wrong, did he have not one of the worst tackle rates in the NFL?
He led the league in missed tackles.
I thought so. So you've got your and that's the guy wearing the green dot.
Yeah.
So I know he had tons of tackles, but the guy didn't hit the gaps. He got ran over. I still remember the play where him and Peyton Wilson got ran over together by the same offensive lineman. At times,
he's a fullback.
Yes.
Oh, it was a fullback. Yeah.
At times, he's hesitant. I just, if that's your main guy, I'm a little worried. I'm hoping that with Patrick Graham, things are fixed and maybe the communication is better for him, and maybe he won't have to, have these many struggles. But Peyton Wilson was so bad against the run, they had to put Malik Harrison in there at the end of the season on every run play. On every run down, that they had to have him in there. And that's a concern as well. Because any legit offense is going to see him out there and go, oh, audible, we're going to pass. So I just don't think that I just don't like the off-ball linebackers. That I think they're the weak link on defense. I'm hoping that Graham can help alleviate that issue, but I don't know, man. I'm still pissed they didn't draft any linebackers higher at all, really, in the draft. There were some guys, and even UDFAs, there were guys that didn't get drafted that I couldn't believe, like Deontay Lawson.
Yep.
I can't believe they didn't at least go after him. I just very disappointed and worried about the off-ball linebacker group. Malik Harrison might be a cut candidate too, because of the $6 million hit as well. So
absolutely,
if they cut him, they're going to have to go find somebody as well. But I'm worried about Patrick Queen. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I hope he has a great season. And Peyton Wilson's another concern. This will be Peyton Wilson's third season?
Yes, it will.
Okay. So that's the thing. I want to see guys hitting gaps with authority, knowing what they're going to do, coming downhill, and then in coverage, not looking lost. But apparently communication's been a big thing with Patrick Graham. I don't know if you've seen them talk about it or not. But yeah, so that's why the offensive line and the off-ball linebackers are my weak link.
I like it. I mean, it's definitely right on par with where we are. See, I went a little bit of a different direction. Offensively, I went quarterback because, there's so many people in the fan base, so many people within the media that keep saying this dude's a top 15 quarterback in the NFL. I don't see it. And I didn't see it on film. I didn't see it in outside of he knows pre-snap what the defense is doing. there's nothing he's bringing to the table that is within the top 15 of this league. Touchdown to interception ratio, great. But I don't get it. Like, it was so much check down Charlie stuff. Not willing to stand in there, push the ball down the field. We can add all the receivers we want to this offense, but unless he's going to stand in there and actually be willing to allow these guys to run their routes and get open and deliver the ball, none of that matters. So we'll see which version of him we see. And let's be honest, it's the most important position on the field. So if he's not going to be at his best, none of the rest of it matters on offense. Defensively, it's safety, man. Like, what is the strategy here? You've got all of these strong safety guys in the same room, where you've got Jaquan Brisker, who has played both free and strong safety. He's better as a strong safety than a free safety. You got Deshaun Elliott coming off of injury, who is a pure strong safety type guy. You got Jalen Ramsey transitioning from corner to safety. Which version of this guy do you get? Do you get the cornerback? Do you get the safety? Is he going to transition well? Like, and what's behind them? Like, you've got nothing, right? You got a guy late in this draft. Right. He's probably a special teams player, not a guy you want on the field at all times. Like, I don't know that we have an answer even now in that room. And fucking Darnell Savage, is he on the team or is he not on the team? Nobody seems to know. Is he ever going to sign a contract to play here? Who the fuck is he? Like, what is he doing?
Yeah, it's weird. It's a little weird.
So, I don't know. It's a weird room. It's a weird makeup, and it seems like they are just trying to get whoever's the best guy available to come and figure it out from there. And I'm not saying that you can't run a too high look with Brisker and Elliott as your back end and be okay, because that's possible, right? Strong safeties do play deep at times. That's kind of part of their bag. But
by the
is
way,
it the best option?
Elliott's been at practice. Like, he's been practicing.
Yeah, he's been saying he'd be fine.
So it sounds like he's okay.
Yeah.
So that's huge.
Yeah. I love Elliott, just for the record. I love Elliott. I love the Brisker signing.
Me too.
I'm just curious how it all fits. And so that's got to be a weak link for me, because not only is this defense aging, but you've got some weird fits among the guys that we brought in here. So we'll see how it plays out. But that's my guys.
Okay. All right. Last little subject I wanted to bring up. I don't got a slide for it, but in general, I told you how. Did I tell you about that freaking Steelers Nation article about the Cardinals?
Yeah. That whole situation is getting really weird, right?
Yeah, like, they do not want to give Brissett more than the $9 million he's making. And I thought that was hilarious that him and Rodgers had almost the exact same numbers. And he's getting 9 and Rodgers is getting 22 up to 25 with incentives. But do you think there's a world where we would trade Mason to them if they approached us?
If we could trade Mason, I would trade Mason. I don't see why you wouldn't trade Mason, in my opinion, because you need to go into camp with 4 quarterbacks. We've done it every year for a long time. But at the same time, if you can get value out of a guy who's probably the most likely to be cut out of that group anyway, wouldn't you try to get a draft pick for him and just bring in another guy off the street to be the 4th quarterback for him?
Yeah.
I think I would.
Because Brissett sat out of OTAs. He hasn't come in. He hasn't come in for non-voluntary, nothing. Like, he's staying away. So it could get ugly with them. I should have looked at the depth chart because I'm curious what they have now, because Murray's gone.
They got Carson Beck.
Oh, that's right. They did draft Beck, didn't they?
So it's Carson Beck. And do you want to start Carson Beck in his rookie season, like in that offense?
I know. I mean,
I know he's 300 years old, but like,
well, they
do you want to start him as a rookie?
What round did they draft him? Was that the 3rd also?
Third third round, I believe. He was because that's why everybody said we had to go get up and get
Aller,
Drew Eller because he was. They already took Carson Beck. Yep.
Wow. So maybe they will.
That's
to
crazy.
me. That's just you're just tanking. Like you're absolutely tanking.
And that's why they don't want to pay Brissett to begin with. Is like, what, dude? We don't plan to win with you. We're trying to get the next quarterback in here.
Nope. Yeah, they don't want to. But for him, he had a good season, so he wants to cash in.
And this is kind of his last chance. He's in his close to mid-30s. In his mid-30s.
So. Yeah, I think so.
So,
but. All right, I guess that's it for the Steelers stuff. Pirates, they won today. Yay!
Thank God.
They won 4-1. Dude, freaking Horwitz had a homer, Cruz had a homer, and freaking the new kid had a home run, Valdez. So it was, dude, there's no better way to start a game than guy throws first pitch and our guy goes, "See ya," and just crushes it. Horwitz absolutely annihilated that fucking ball. It was fucking great. Cruz did too. Valdez was kind of funny though because his was almost like it was an outside pitch and like he swung it and it felt like he popped it up, but he hit it hard enough to where it was a long fly ball and it went over. And then I didn't even see the part. You were telling me the kid was negotiating.
Story of the game. The kid was not giving that ball up. He was not giving the ball up. He wanted a signed bat. He got himself a hat. Yeah, I don't know what else they were handing to that kid. They gave him a ball. I mean, I don't know if they gave him a jersey.
My dude read the art of the deal. The art of the deal.
He's on his phone like his agent. He's like, hey. I'm going to need some more shit, okay? I need some more shit. Give me some more shit before I give the ball up. I mean, the kid was on the phone for what felt like an hour and a half trying to negotiate what he was giving up for this ball. So I thought that was hilarious. He cracked me up.
But what else? So Keller went 6 innings, only gave it 1 earned run, had 5 Ks, 3 walks. ERA sits now at 3.64. I remember Montgomery had a little bit of trouble, but he got out of it. He ended up going 1.2 innings and had 2 Ks, didn't give up anything. So that was good to see Montgomery do that. Soto let it get a little interesting there. He let 2 get on. Yeah, I was just like, come on, dude. Like, don't do this. But when Springer was up, I was scared to death. I was like, dude, please don't. Please. But he got out of it and they won the game. They did lose the series though. I would rather get into the second game with Skeens on the mound. They lost 5-2. Skeens now ERA sits at 3. He freaking had 5 innings pitched, 4 earned runs, only 2 Ks, 1 walk. But see, here's my thing, and I don't know how you feel about it. I could be wrong, but I felt like that was more on Henry Davis than it was Skeens. And I'm not trying to make excuses for Skeens. I'm not. He did miss his spots a couple times. I understand that. But like when he gave up the home run to Springer, Davis called 3 fastballs in a row. This is Major League Baseball, bro. Like these are MLB hitters, and it ain't like Skeens is throwing 102 anymore. He's not. His velocity is down. He doesn't throw as hard as he used to. They changed his arm angle, so he doesn't throw 102 no more. So he throws around 98. So guess what? In the MLB, if you throw 3 straight 98 fastballs down the middle or in the area of the, guess what? Someone's going to tee off on it. Mm-hmm. Then when he gave up more runs, this was later in the game, Henry Davis called 5 changeups. 5. It's like, dude, what?
For a guy who doesn't throw a ton of changeups either, he will throw it, but not.
He has 2 different chains, if I remember correctly. He's got his splitter and he's got the other one he throws. I don't know if it's a circle changer.
Splinter and
but but I just, dude, like, so I just felt like Henry called a shitty game. That's and I'm not, maybe not the whole game, but in the innings where they put up runs against Skeens, I was questioning the calls. And the reason why I even knew the calls was because the guys in the broadcast booth were saying it. They were saying, oh, another changeup. Oh, another changeup. Or, oh, another fastball. That was the third one. Oh, and Springer teed off on it. Like, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, well, what is Henry doing? Because Henry usually, to defend him, usually calls a really good game, and that's why Skeens wants him.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but
they've talked too. Springer is a fastball hitter. Why are you calling 3 straight fastballs?
right.
To a guy who's sitting fastball, and that's his special. Like, if there's something he does well, that's it.
Right.
Well, I mean, today, how did they attack him when he had a bad game? It was all fucking breaking ball stuff. So why? I mean, I get it. Skeens can be super dominant, but like at the same time, if you're going to serve up the best pitch that a hitter can hit, they're going to hit it. Like, this is professional baseball. Like, you can't put it in the zone with a pitch type that he likes and just expect him to miss 3 fucking times in a row. They don't miss 3 times in a row in Major League Baseball. It just doesn't happen. Like, you have to give them, everybody's got that, the video game world has the hot cold zone. They put that shit in the fucking TV too. But also, you have a strategy going into every game, and you have a blueprint for every single hitter of what they do well. And if a guy's a primary fastball hitter, you're not loading him up with fucking fastballs. What are you doing?
Well, my problem is that Skeens has 7 different fucking pitches. So what are you doing calling the same pitch like either 3 to 5 times in a row or whatever? Like, why? Like, what are you doing? My dude's got everything from a sweeper to several different changeups, a 12-6 curve if he wants to throw it, to his fastball, whether it's going 4-seam or 2-seam. Like, dude, fucking mix it up. Like, what are we doing here? Like, I don't know. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is it just compounds everything else that's wrong with Henry Davis. So I'm going to bring this up. I want to show everybody this. This is the stat line with Henry Davis right now as we sit. His WAR is I'm sorry. His hitting is so bad that he's been so good on defense that he sits at 0.0. The only thing saving this guy from going negative is his defense. So let's walk through it. 14 hits, 3 home runs, a 139 batting average. Stephen Brault had a career better batting average as a pitcher than Henry Davis.
14 hits, and we're 58 games into the season?
Yes.
That's embarrassing, dude.
On base percentage, 243. Slugging, 257. OPS is 501. Only 9 RBIs, 11 walks, 21 Ks. He has almost double the amount of Ks as walks. And here it is, the stuff saving him. This is the stuff saving him. His defensive runs saved, his DRS, is 8th, which is 4th best in the league. Other catcher stats. He's thrown out 14 of 52 attempts. That's a 27% throwout rate, giving him a DRS of 4 using specifically just his arm, just in caught stealing. If it wasn't for this, his WAR would be astronomically negative.
Oh, for sure.
And it's just, to me, he can't be the starting catcher anymore.
No.
This screams backup. And I mean backup to the backup. I don't know. I know it's Skeen's guy, but man, dude. And here's the thing, like, I don't want to pile on, but now you're calling shit games too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude. So I just when I see a catcher with these kind of stats, but then I see the DRS, I see the thrown out percentage, that's my backup catcher. That's my guy where on day 3, I want him in there. Or say I got a defensive setup I want towards the end of the game, something like that. I'm sorry, but Endy gets hits. His defense is good enough. I don't think he's that much of a liability. I just don't. Sure, I think Henry's got a better arm. Absolutely. But man, it's not enough to where I'm like, yeah, Andy can't be the everyday starting catcher. Dude, I'm sorry. He gets on base, he hits the ball. He's not hitting for power. Like I understand that. But like, dude, and we said this before, like, dude, I'm just begging for a catcher that can hit 200. Can we get a catcher that hits 200, please? Begging for it. And now whether Andy can, I mean, Andy's batting, I think, around 3 something now, but that's a small sample size because he just got caught up. So I'm not gonna use that as a way to, like, promote his stats. So, but dude, we can't have this, man. Like we already lost O'Hearn, and we get into this batting order, and I mean, my God, I mean, Henry Davis is an automatic out. He's an automatic out with a 139 batting average. Because some people don't care about batting averages. They care more about weighted runs created, which I get. They care more about that stuff, OPS. But look at the OPS; it's 501. So I'm pretty sure I forgot to look at his weighted runs created. I'm pretty sure it's probably not great.
Right.
So,
and when you have more walks than RBIs, you're not producing runs either. Sorry.
Right.
But you can't put out more walks than fucking RBIs. Like 3 home runs and 14 hits. That's fantastic if you ever fucking hit the ball.
Right.
He's rough right now.
It's rough to watch. He looks lost. Absolutely lost at the plate. Every once in a while, he'll get into one like he did the other day, hit a line drive, hit the top of the fence, and went over. But good luck seeing anything else like that for a little while. I think I saw something. He was 0 for his last 22 before that or something like that.
That's embarrassing, like dude. Like, at some point, you have to just throw the barrel of the fucking bat to the middle of the plate and accidentally make contact that slips through the infield.
Works for Mangum.
My God. Like,
maybe Henry should get some tips from him just so he can bat 200.
So he came up and through the system, and he was kind of known as a power hitter coming up through the system. Is it just that he's trying to load up every fucking at bat? Like, is he not just being patient at the plate and just trying to put the ball in play? I mean, I'm really just, has he completely given up on everything hitting and is solely focused on defense at this point? They've
tried everything with him. They've tried everything.
It's embarrassing.
Like, every hitting coach they've had, every down the minors or at the pro level, like, dude, they've tried everything. They've tried to change the mechanics. They've tried to change mindsets. You see, like, some of the tweaks he's made with his load, with his step, not holding the bat on his shoulder, keeping it up now. Like, there's different things that they've tried with him. To me, it just looks like he's just lost up there. And it's kind of weird because he's a catcher, so, like, you think that he would have an idea of what's coming. But even if he does, he can't hit it.
It's crazy.
His timing is horrendous.
Yeah.
So he just can't hit at the major league level. He did it at AAA. Yeah. But it's a jump. The jump in talent from AAA to here, it can be a big jump. So, but all right. Next thing I want to talk about, the first game. Bubba Chandler. He has had a rough couple outings. Well, not a couple. It's been rough in general. But in the game, the first game, they lost 6-2. But he was on the mound, but there were 3 errors, so they didn't help his cause. He ended up going 5 innings pitched, only had 2 hits, only 1 earned run, 3 walks, but 11 Ks. Do you feel like that was a bounce back game for him, or? How did you feel about him in general? Like, are we seeing a guy starting to figure it out again? Like, maybe he's starting to get back into the groove. He's so talented, dude. It just, man.
To me, it felt like an inconsistent pitcher who just had his day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a guy who is looking to put it together and found it for that game, but it's not. I don't think I can count on him to step on the mound and repeat that performance next week. You hope he does, Like you hope he steps on and he figures that thing out and he steps up and has a better game next week. But I just don't think that's going to be the case. And he's been too wildly inconsistent. He can't find the strike zone this year. The walks are astronomical for a starting pitcher right now. Like I hope it is a step in the right direction, but I would not count on him saying, I got it, I figured it out, I'm gonna turn this thing on and be a guy that we kind of saw in AAA who got called up for a reason. Like the talent is definitely there. You said it. It's there. I just don't think he's quite put it together. This was a one-off performance to me, not I've solved my issues. Did you think it was?
The 11Ks impressed me.
Well, yeah, sure.
I feel like the errors didn't help. Old Gonzalez, always Mr. Reliable when it comes to errors, third.
The backhander.
But I felt like he did do better. It was way better than before. Before he was just getting hit all over the place, or he's scared to throw over the plate. You know, it's almost reminiscent of Keller in his first like legit season with us, where he was scared to put it over the plate. Like he was trying to just stay on the outside corners and couldn't do it. So he's either walking a bunch of people or putting it right over the fucking plate and they're destroying it. And that was the problem. And that was the problem with Bubba, is that he's catching too much of the plate a lot of times, putting it right down the middle because he's just scared. That's why he made that comment, you know, I got to quit being soft. And it's reminiscent of Keller. Keller was this way about 5-6 years ago. He was scared. And he didn't want to put the ball over the plate, so he either walk or throw it right down the fucking middle and bang. So once he realizes that, you know, if he gets over that fear and goes at them, the dude's thrown 100 to 102, I think, in that realm, 101. Like, bro, he starts getting ahead and counts throwing those high fastballs. It's going to be hard for them to catch up to. Like, he'll start striking out more people. You saw in this with 11 Ks because he started doing that again. But it's a confidence issue. He's young. So, like,
sure.
It's one of those things, man. He's got to overcome it, be confident out there. But I felt like this is maybe a step in the right direction. I'm not 100% though, because his next start, he could go right out there and shit down his pants again and have, you know, 6 walks or some crazy shit, you know, just exaggerating, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, but the reason why I brought, go ahead.
Well, not even from this start, but the start even before that, he started the game really well, and he was like attacking hitters with the fastball. He's going right after them. And I think it's once he starts losing some of the control, that's when he finds too much at the plate. And like he loses confidence to throw the pitch and try to paint the corner and try to make guys chase out of the zone, because when he's missing, he's not missing close. He's missing by a lot. And I think that's where his problem is he's not putting the ball close enough to make guys chase outside the zone. And then when he is behind in the count, he's putting it too far inside that zone and giving major league hitters a good chance to just put contact on the ball, and they are.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping that the kid has gained some confidence from that outing. I know it probably didn't feel right because of the errors helping to give up some runs. But yeah, I felt like it kind of was. It kind of was him taking a step in the right direction. But it's got to be consistent. We'll see this next start. I'm not ready to crown him getting in the groove yet, because I'm going to bring up something here in a minute to really challenge that. So next thing I want to talk about was Colin Beasley tweeted today on X, on his weekly radio show, Pirates GM Ben Cherington says that Jared Jones will meet the Pirates back in Pittsburgh and throw a bullpen Tuesday before making a determination on his next outing or activation. Cherington again did not say whether that'll be as a starter or reliever. Boy, he better make sure it's starter, because Jared Jones don't want to. He don't got no time for that shit. Like, he don't want to hear. Not. He don't want to hear at all that he's going to be a reliever. Man, that could get ugly if that's the route they go. But anyways, so like, before I bring up the next slide, so I mean, we could get into the slide, I guess, but like they're gonna bring him up. What would you do? What would be the moves you make bringing Jared Jones back?
It's going to be an interesting dynamic at this point because I know you've been high on this train with Carmen Majinski being a guy who should be in the bullpen. He doesn't really typically get through the order twice effectively. So, do you want this guy going 6 innings for you in the starting rotation? He's probably giving you more. What's his average? Is he giving about five innings pitched on average for Carmen? Yeah.
Average,
It's
I
got to be
think
that.
he's hovering around 5. It's probably like 4 point something
Yeah.
to 5 is where he's probably at. That's been my biggest issue with him is that he can't be like a traditional starter and always go 6 innings.
So you're either counting on him to get you through 4+ innings of work, or you're thinking about relying on Bubba to figure it out. Right? Those are the two starters right now that you could probably take out of the rotation and put them in the pen and say Jared's going to be the guy added into that starting rotation. I don't think there's any question Jared's a starter. Like, he's coming back in to be a starter, and anybody who's going to say otherwise, you've got to be crazy. But I would probably move Carmen to the bullpen, and it gives you an arm that you can count on for 4 innings. So if you need a guy who comes in and can pitch 3 to 4 innings, Carmen is a guy who you can probably trust to come in and pitch 3 to 4 innings. And we don't really have somebody who can come in and do that consistently right now. Like, you've had some guys who've done whatever, some who have okay, some who have been completely terrible.
Right.
Like, Sisk has been okay in some of his outings. Right? Like, he's a guy you can give you probably 2 to 3 innings. Right. You don't want him probably going too much more than that. But we don't really have a guy who, if you have to pull a starter early, you can bring in and be like, hey, I need you to give me 3 to 4 innings of good baseball. Right. Carmen could be that guy. So if it was for me, I think I'm putting Carmen in the bullpen.
Okay. For me, I'm definitely making Jones a starter. I'm not questioning that. I mean, he's just a bulldog. Like, I want that guy on the fucking mound. Like, when he's got his stuff, he is extremely hard to hit. He can be a dominant pitcher on the mound for us. I get the health issue, being worried about his innings and his health and stuff like that. But this guy's a starter. He's got the mindset. He should be on the mound. Basically, I'm bringing him back, and Lawrence can go. Like, yes, I'm done with Lawrence. Yes. But I want to show this because you're right. To me, I feel the same way. Like, who's going to get bumped to the bullpen? And Carmen Majinski and Bubba Chandler, those are the two guys. To me, that's the two battling to see what happens. So I brought this slide up. I made this one today. In an all-out winner-take-all, Majinski versus Chandler. Loser goes to the bullpen. So here's the stats. As you guys see, Majinski's WAR right now is 0.5. 50 innings pitched. 4 wins, 3 losses. I know that the whole win-loss thing is not. It shouldn't be a pitcher stat, but it's on there, so I'm just bringing it up. ERA 3.96, WHIP 140. His FIP. Now, for those that don't know what FIP is, that is independent fielding, which means it's just like ERA, the lower the better, because you want it to be where your pitcher doesn't need his fielders to get a lot of outs. And then his strikeouts per 9 is 7.9. So then you go over to Bubba. WAR negative 0.2, innings pitched 47, 1 win, 6 losses, an ERA of 4.79, a WHIP of 1.46, a FIP of 5.26. But the strikeout per 9 is 9.0. So for me personally, I typically, if I'm going to have a guy that I want to be, someone that I know it can be in the later innings in important, stressful time frames in games, I want to see the FIP be really well and their strikeout per 9 be really good. Mm-hmm. Because that tells me they can shut down an offense on their own. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So, unfortunately, with these two, well, and it's not even unfortunately. So Majinski's got the better FIP, but his strikeout per nine is not bad at all. It's 7.9. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
It's just man, Bubba sitting there at 9 strikeout per nine. It's like, man, but that FIP is horrendous, bro. 5.26. Just so you know, an elite FIP is 2 to 3. So right now, Carmen Majinski has an elite FIP right now. That's pretty good. What did I want? There's something else I wanted to show. I wanted to bring up though. So here's why I am actually changing my mind. As of today, I am changing my mind on the whole Majinski to the bullpen. And I actually do think it should be Bubba Chandler that should go to the bullpen. So I decided to look into his splits per inning. And you're going to be like, what the hell? So his splits per inning in the first inning is a 4.50. Then in the second inning, it's 0.90. That's his ERA. Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth inning, it jumps to the sixes. So then when you looked at innings 1 through 3, his ERA is a 3.90, and his ERA innings 4 through 6 is a 6.35. That just shows how much he struggles after about 3 innings, dude. So for me personally, if you move Bubba to the pen, it's not going to be as stressful as being a starter. He's got the strikeout per 9. You put him out there for an inning or 2, he could actually possibly be dominant with time. Does that make sense?
So do you think his long-term solution should be in the pen too? Do you think he should be more of a setup save guy?
There's in the future, not yet, but as of right now, I'm leaning that way. I don't want to sound crazy here because Bubba Chandler is immensely talented and he's young. He's got time. But just for the 2026 season, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, I saw somebody, I can't remember who said this. Might have been Donnie Football on 93.7. Somebody said it on Twitter. But I saw someone said that you could start Majinski and have Chandler come in after.
Ooh, yeah.
And I like that because Majinski's usually pretty solid until he gets to the 4th, 5th-ish, and then you bring in Chandler for a couple innings. Might work. And
that's kind of the way the baseball has moved in some aspects, is trying to give these starters, not going super deep into games and bringing the bullpens out early. And I mean, it was 3 years ago, some of these teams, was it Kansas City Royals that were bringing out relievers to start games?
Well, they do. They sometimes will do bullpen games, or they have openers. We've done it too. There's actually 2 games where Majinski didn't start. We had an opener. They had Montgomery open for him, if I remember correctly. And he did by the way, with an opener. So do you switch that? Do you make Chandler start like an opener and then bring in Majinski? It's intriguing, but the stats show that clearly Majinski's been more of starter material than Chandler is this season. But dude, I've been wanting to die on the hill that Majinski should be in the bullpen. But when I look at all this and I see that Majinski's got way better FIP, an elite FIP with an ERA that's fine, that's passable under 4, and then a strikeout per 9 at 7.9, which is nothing to sneeze at. That's good.
And Carmen's his career FIP is 3.37. I'm looking at that now. Yeah.
So, man.
I see where you're coming from. Honestly.
That's what caused me to kind of change my mind. I'm like, fuck. You know what? Yeah, move Chandler to the pen. See if he can be a guy that gives you 1 to 2 like solid innings, and maybe he becomes a late inning guy that is we need it. Like we need it.
We
We've
do.
got Soto and I like Montgomery. I'm not 100% sure yet. I could trust him.
Ramirez when he's right.
When he's right, Ramirez when he's right. Santana's a mess. A mess.
Total mess.
I like Dotel, but I haven't seen him much. They caught him up. I saw him pitch one time. He gave up 1 run.
Yep.
But I haven't seen Dotel that much to really get a read on him. But like, dude, Lawrence it's over. Lawrence should be gone. Like they need a guy. They need another guy, maybe 2, really, to be honest, that need to be at the later part of that pen. And if you start with Chandler now, if you make the move now, then you might find something here. And then if one of our starters gets hurt, then okay, you can revert back to him. Revert back to him being a starter. I'll also say this. Ashcraft is almost already at his total innings pitched last year, by the way. Did you know that?
I did not. No.
So there's a concern. There's going to be a concern that they don't want him to go way over what he's used to innings-wise.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've seen this typically with rookie pitchers or young pitchers in their first full year. Well, they'll start to dial back how many innings they pitch. And Ben Cherington's very cautious, extremely cautious. So, right. Yeah, there might be times where Ashcraft maybe can't. They want him to skip a start, and it could be coming probably in June. They might start doing that. Maybe maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they'll wait a little longer. I don't know. I hope Ashcraft's been amazing, but he's been too amazing. That's the joke of it. He's been too good. Yeah. So, you move Chandler to the pen, and then if they do want to skip some starts for him for Ashcraft, okay, maybe they give Bubba some starts. Maybe.
I'm going to ask a dumb question to you. This is a genuine question because I don't dive into baseball analytics the way that you do. Could the strikeout per 9 and the FIP tie hand in hand to who could be a quality starter versus a guy who should be in the bullpen? So, for example, does it make sense that Bubba Chandler could be even a short-term reliever, as in like a setup guy for your closer with that strikeout per 9, or even possibly a guy who develops into just being a closer one day because of the strikeout per 9, where the FIP leads to believe that he needs the fielding because he's just not good long-term as a starter.
Well, that's what I meant earlier by baby steps to that. Like, It's end of May. You still got fucking all of June, July, August, September, bro. So this could be a guy that builds to that. That's my point, is like the strikeout per 9's there. The FIP is not. So if he goes to the pen, less pressure of being a starter, and they put him in situations where not quite crazy situations yet, just long relief, maybe when they're down by, a lot of runs or don't throw him into the fire yet is what I'm saying. That right. He might be able to build to that, to where he is your setup guy, or maybe better, but I'm talking way down the road. This is not now.
Yeah, you don't give up on a 23-year-old.
Right. So yeah, I could see it. I would like to see the FIP get lowered, for sure. To become, that elite closer type, if that's what you're trying to get at down the road, or just a really great setup guy or something. Yeah, I would love to see the low FIP match the high strikeout per 9. That's just me though. And I'm not. That's just my preference. I'm not saying that's the end all be all, but I like to see my late guys have a low FIP, high strikeout per 9. Like that's what I like to see, because to me, you're dominating that inning. You are dominating those hitters. Does that make sense?
Yep, absolutely.
So, yeah, I kind of wonder if that's what would be best for him. I can't believe I changed my mind on Majinski. Like I thought that for sure. Like I thought, look, he's a bullpen guy, but versus Bubba, right now, I just think that the best thing is for Chandler to go to the pen. And I know maybe that sounds crazy, but he's just not getting it done as a starter, or hasn't lately. But like I said, he looked good the other night. 11 Ks, in my opinion, he looked better. 11 Ks,
Sure.
didn't have the fielding behind him nor the run support. So, I give it a couple more, because they're gonna take their time with Jones a little bit here. One more bullpen. We probably got another week. Before Jones is activated. So Bubba will probably get one more start. I doubt two. And let's see, he started 3 games ago, right? So he's gonna have a start here in 2 days. Oh, we might get 2 starts from Bubba before Jones is activated. So these next start or two, if he struggles again and he doesn't show any consistency of coming off that 11 strikeout game with, I think, what was it, 1 earned run or something like that, then maybe. Do I have it here? Yeah, 1 earned run, dude. He had 1 earned run in 5 innings. Now, if he shows that again with a lot of Ks, low walk where he had 3 walks, so yeah, okay, maybe not. Maybe he's going to change our mind a little bit, but because that's the problem, Trent. This is what he's capable of doing, striking out 11 fucking batters. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You see what this kid can do, but God damn it, there's no consistency, and he's young, so that's typical too. You can have that. Not everybody's Ashcraft, where he's going to go out there and fucking, just be so cerebral and so good. Like Ashcraft, yep. I think the only outing I've watched where he looked really that bad was the one when he was on bereavement. He was on the bereavement list because there was a family emergency, and at first, clearly he was probably distracted or had something on his mind. Besides that start, Ashcraft's been fucking fantastic. So, but yeah, I don't know, man. I know a couple starts ago, I was thinking Chandler should get sent down. But
yeah.
And you know what? A wild card here too is Dotel, because I think Dotel was a starter down at AAA. I can't remember.
We talked about that not too long ago.
I don't want to misquote, but I thought he was getting starts at AAA.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to look into it. So I don't know. I don't know what they might do. But as far as these two goes, I think I'm right. I feel like I'm right in saying it should be Chandler that goes. If it's gun to my head, I got to pick one of these two. I'm going with Bubba Chandler.
This feels like a situation that we're used to as Pittsburgh fans, where they take the guy who's the higher profile guy and you leave him as a starter, and you take the guy who's not as high profile and you throw him in the pen, even if he deserves to be the starter. Your argument makes total sense that Majinski should continue to start and Chandler should be in the bullpen, but it just feels like the hype around Chandler and the organization's investment in Chandler will keep him in the starting lineup. To me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what? Because we've been talking for almost an hour and 20 minutes.
I know.
So I looked at Majinski's per inning splits too. And it's all over the place. 2.25 in first inning, then 5 in the second, 0 in the third, then up to 8 in the fourth, 8.38, and then 6.14 in the fifth, back down to 2.25 in the sixth, 0 in the seventh. And then it shows, I guess he hasn't really pitched in the 8th or 9th inning because he never makes it that far. But his ERA is 2.33 innings 1 through 3. And then in innings 4 through 6, it's 6.43. Which was why I've always thought he should be the one to go to the pen.
Mm-hmm.
But lately, I feel like he's been a better pitcher than Chandler. And the stats back that up. So, one last thing I want to talk about. We'll try to make this one quick. We're going to end up hitting the hour and 30 mark here. Have you? It seems like with the Pirates' offense, it's either feast or famine.
Oh yeah.
Like they're either scoring 6+ runs or they're lucky to score 2. Today
Right.
was like the first game where they scored 4. And even today they got lucky. If it wasn't for the long ball, which is the difference, by the way, in my opinion, of this team, is we have more guys that can hit the long ball. But like they scored 4 runs. They got lucky they even did that. And you saw that the 6-0, 6-0 back-to-back against the Phillies. Yesterday they put up 2. Game before that, I think they put up, 1 or 2? Like 2, yeah. So, dude, like, I just don't understand how this team can be like that. But then I look at these lineups. And I'm like, oh, wait, look. There's Mangum and Triolo and Henry Davis back-to-back-to-back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are we doing here? And I get the lefties versus righties, those matchups. You got to have them. I understand. However, when you got guys like Lowe who are on fire, Horwitz who are on fire, both lefties, I don't give a shit if a lefty's on the mound or not. Put them out there. Your guys that are on hot streaks right now, that means they're seeing the ball really fucking well. It ain't going to matter which way it's come from. I get it. I get that it should be harder for them. But, dude, when they're in the zone, they're in the zone. They're just certain guys. Nick Gonzalez, Horwitz, and Lowe. Those guys should play all the time until they show that they actually struggle that bad. Dude, Andy Rodriguez, he's already averaging more hits than Henry Davis has had in the last month. Like, dude, there's just no way he should be getting 2 out of 3 starts per whatever. Like, there's no way Triolo should be getting that many. Like today, for instance, we're about to get swept, and they start Triolo over Connor Griffin.
I saw that.
And don't get me wrong, the kid's played, like, I think since he got called out, he's hardly had a day off at all, maybe. I get it, but not on the day where you got to win here. I'm
looking at it now. Griffin has played as many games as Brandon Lowe.
Yeah.
And Nicky G.
And I get it.
He's one behind Spencer Horwitz.
And I get it, but dude, you're trying to not get swept. Yeah. You're trying to go 500 on the road. Like you take 2 from the Cardinals, and then you're almost about to get swept here. You're trying to go 500 on the road and get back home. You got to win this game. And hey, they pulled it off without him. But let me ask this question: what did Triolo do today?
Did he do anything?
I don't think he did. I'm looking it up right now.
Triolo,
I missed it. He was 0 for 4.
I was going to say, I don't think he could have. I didn't remember him.
Batting average down to 234, an OPS of 545, bro.
He did manage to catch an infield fly, though.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah. But I just – a lot of these lineups drive me insane, dude.
Yeah.
I'm sick of the Mangum, Triolo, Henry trio at the bottom of the lineup.
Well, you're feast or famine because your best hitters have good days and they have bad days. And when they have bad days, that's the famine. And when they have good days, that's the feast. I mean, that's what it boils down to is you're not getting anything from certain guys inside of your lineup, and you have to have more balance. You cannot have multiple guys hitting under 200 every fucking day in your lineup. I mean, you just can't. You can't. And Ozuna's already one of them. You've got Henry Davis as another one. And then you start throwing other guys into the mix who, Mangum doesn't hit for power. He's not driving in RBIs. Come on. I mean, you're going to be very hit or miss in what you're doing. And he got hit by a pitch. He had a steal today. But notice, what else is he doing?
Did you notice that they're starting to rest Ozuna more? And they're starting to DH, and they're starting to DH Cruz more. I think today was the second time in about 5 games that Cruz DH'd.
Well, because Password came up, he's hitting the ball.
Yeah.
You're going to put him in the lineup.
You got Valdez. You got those guys should definitely be in the fucking lineup. I don't give a fuck if they're rookies or not. Just got caught up. Their defense is better, and they can hit the shit out of the baseball. Yep. Absolutely. I want to see them out there, and I don't like Magnum. Magnum's Magnum. He had a really nice play, the diving catch. I think he's a good defensive guy. I do like him defensively, but watching him hit a baseball is like watching girls softball where they slap hit the ball.
Yeah, for sure.
It's tough to watch. And just having him and Triolo and Henry at the bottom of that lineup, man, is really tough to watch.
It's brutal.
Really tough. But when I see Passwords out there, Valdez is out there, you got Cruz DHing, so now your defense is already better. Along with Reynolds out there in the outfield, man, I feel better about things when I see that, and he's catching, because then I know I got a hitter that has a chance to actually get on base a lot, or a decent amount. We'll say an okay amount. Can I just get okay amount?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just.
You're what, 23 games away from being halfway through the season at this point. I feel like if this team can make its way into the playoff, where you can play guys every day and they don't need the rest that they need, you feel better about the lineup if you've got Nicky G at third, Brandon Lau at second. I've seen people thrown out there to trade Brandon Lau if this team's not like in the race. I don't know why, unless we really fall off the wagon, why would you not feel we're in the race at this point in the season? Like that's fucking insanity.
Bro, if by July, if we're around 500, you do not trade Lau.
No,
you do not trade
even close.
Lau. Because you still got all of July, August, and September. Like, there's no fucking way. For me, we'd have to be 10 games under 500 before I consider trading Lau. That's the only way.
Agreed. I'm like, you traded for the guy this year to add to your lineup. Why the fuck would you trade him immediately after? Come on. Like, there's other guys.
Yeah, we gave up Burrows. I know Burrows isn't lighting the world on fire, but he's young, and he was projected to be a good pitcher. So, you don't – I mean, right off the rip, you get this guy, and you're going to – he's already a rental. Like, I mean, everybody's got a price. They'd have to be offered, like, substantial things for him. But, like, I'm not interested. If we're at 500, I'm going to go to the fucking playoffs, dude. Like, no. So that shit's stupid. There should be the record will make that decision for you. And for me, if they're at 500, there ain't no fucking way. None.
I agree. Yeah.
But, all right. You have anything else?
An hour and a half in, I don't think so. We went wherever. You're welcome.
I literally listed less subjects than the before, and nope, still went. But all right, guys. Hey, look, appreciate you guys that watched. We hope you enjoy this. Me and Trent are very passionate about Steelers and Pirates. He had the Here We Go podcast. I had the Hodgepodge Nothings podcast, and we just came up with this idea to just join them together, have a brand new podcast only on the app. Please tell people, like, if they're Steeler fans and Pirate fans, to please come on, make an account on the app, and we'll be putting this out there every week along with other stuff. I'm putting together another podcast called the Steelers Sanctuary Chat Box. It's going to be me with along of a bunch of guys that's in the chat from YouTube, and I'm going to be bringing them on, and so that way they can get their voice out there and give their views on the Steelers. Again, download the app, Steelers Sanctuary Union app. All right, guys, take care. We're out.
Just like that, I left everything. I dropped out of high school. See ya. I said goodbye to my girlfriend. See ya. And I left my family.